Jay again. I'm in my hotel room in Shepherd, and tonight I just got done with a workout. Now I'm going to try and make some curry soup in my hotel room. So what I got here is I got a can of coconut milk. I chose one with a pop-off top that didn't have too much weird stuff in it. I got some frozen bell peppers, frozen asparagus, and then this is a frozen, pre-cooked, peeled and cleaned shrimp, and some curry paste. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to try and break this asparagus up, and I'm going to get that steaming. I'm going to put it in the bowl here. Hold on. So I'm opening it up. I'm going to put it in the bowl. And unfortunately, it actually looks like it thawed a little bit while it was in my freezer. So I got one of those cheap hotel freezers, and not really doing the job too well for me. But so I've got that in there. Right now it's semi-thawed. I'm going to add my bell peppers now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put about an ounce or two of water in there. And I'm going to put it in the microwave covered and let it kind of start steaming a little bit, because since the veggies are frozen, I want them to start cooking just a little bit before we add everything else in. So I've got a limited capacity of my soup bowl, so I only put about half the asparagus in there and half the bell peppers, which means that if all turns out well, I can probably make this again tomorrow night. So actually, let's check this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a quick little squirt of water in there. I usually use paper towel. Tonight I don't have paper towels. I'm just going to use the top of this lid, put it on loosely. I'm going to open up my microwave, toss that bad boy in there, and I'm going to start cooking it just a little bit. It's going to be cooking for a while once I get everything else in there. So I'm going to start with about 90 seconds. So 90 seconds, and we'll see how it's turning out. Right, so I'm going to take my veggies out of the microwave. I had them in for 90 seconds. I actually opened it, checked it out. I thought they were still a little too frozen, so I put them back in for another 60 seconds. Right now, it looks like a couple of them are still a little cold to the touch, but definitely not frozen anymore, and that's cool, because I'm going to add the shrimp, and I'm going to cook them for just a little bit more before we add the coconut milk. So I've got my shrimp right here. I'm going to grab a good few handfuls here. Make sure I get a good clip of protein. I'm also kind of concerned about how much I can fit into this limited space bowl. I've also got to fit my coconut milk in there. But I think that's a pretty hefty amount of shrimp. I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to put just another spritz of water in there. So just a quick little dollop. Going to put my top on loosely. So it's on loosely. We'll let air escape. And I'm gonna put that in for, I think, based on my last experiment, about a minute. And I think I'm gonna check it and probably mix it around a bit, put it in for another minute. So I just pulled it out, and I'm starting to mix it up a bit. A few of these are still a little chilled, but remember, again, they're pre-cooked, so they don't need to be thoroughly cooked, just really warmed enough. And they're starting to be at least chilled enough that it's not going to take super long to warm them up, so that means I don't have to be microwaving the coconut milk for too long. You'll see that there's some liquid starting to form on the bottom. That's kind of the melt-off of the veggies plus that water I mixed in. So I'm going to take advantage of that liquid now, and I'm going to start adding in some of this curry paste. So I think the recommendation on the curry paste bottle is about 1 good tablespoon for whole can coconut milk. I personally like a little bit more curry, so I'm going to take... again, I don't really like to measure, so I took about a good spoonful plus about a half a spoonful, not quite as big of a tablespoon, and we'll see. Either it's going to be really good, or I'm going to be saying that was way too much curry. I think before I mix in the coconut milk, I'm going to try to mix the stuff in there, try to take advantage of that liquid as a medium for mixing this in. So starting to mix that up. I'm a pretty messy here, but that's okay. We got a maid coming tomorrow, right? I should clean my room while I'm out. But so it looks like that curry paste actually worked pretty good on the liquid. And now I'm going to open up this coconut milk and see what I can get going with that. I'm going to go ahead and dump most of this can in here. I'm going to eat this whole bowl, I think. So I'm not quite sure I want to eat a whole can of coconut milk, but I'm definitely going to mix in enough to cover it all well. I'm going to actually try to mix up this coconut milk a bit better so I can get a good mix of the solids and liquids. And maybe I'll use the remainder for some coffee tomorrow, something like that. So I'm going to pour a good amount, covering all the veggies. About that much is left in the can, so that's tomorrow's coffee milk. And I'm going to mix this up pretty well. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover it yet again. And see about putting that in the microwave and seeing how long it takes to heat up. And so anytime you're heating a big thing of liquids in the microwave, it's not a good idea to heat it for a long period of time. It'll start bubbling. So I think I'm going to do about 90-second bursts and stir it each time in between, and just kind of see how long it takes to get warm. This was after 3 90-second pulses. Pretty good consistency. We got the asparagus in there, the shrimp, the bell peppers. You can smell it. It smells pretty good. Good little soup going. To put things in perspective, this entire bowl is a bowl that can hold up to 7 cups, and so it looks like about halfway full. So we're looking at about 3.5, 4 cups worth of goods in there. We're looking at 3 minutes for the veggies, an extra 3 minutes once we add to the shrimp, and then 4.5 minutes for the coconut milk, just to kind of get that warm, get those flavors mixing. So we're looking at math in public, 10.5 minutes total cooking time. I'm well fed. My stomach is warm.